Hey, good afternoon, class. My name is Jason Cain. I'm going to be your professor in this American Government Intro to American Government online course. Um, welcome to the course. I hope you guys are going to enjoy this online class. You're going to be seeing me in a couple different places, having videos from a couple different places. Here is my office I have my office hours from 10 to 11 o'clock every day, every Monday through Thursday. You can come in here or contact me on Teams, and we can have a conversation, solve any problems that you might be having with coursework, or just discuss politics in general. You'll also be seeing me in the classroom, so you'll have recorded lectures with our where the cameras in the back of the room, where I'll be a lot smaller, and I'll be using videos during our weekly lectures. And then you might see me at I'll do weekly check-ins from my home office. So those are the three places that I'll be posting videos from. I'll do weekly introduction videos, check-ins on Fridays, and then do some explainer videos kind of in between. Talk about some of the things that we're going to be discussing in class that we talked about in lecture and in the text. So I wanted to start off by introducing myself. Again, my name is Professor Cain. I'm an assistant professor here at Wake Tech. I've been teaching political science for a little over 5 years now. I started my career in the Army. I joined the Army soon after college. Actually, I should say that I was a CCP student, the equivalent of CCP. I went to community college when I was in high school back in the 1990s. It was like a pilot project. So my senior year of high school, I didn't go to high school. I went to the local community college and took classes. I appreciate and know this experience. I finished my undergrad degree while I was still in the Army. I spent 10 years in the Army from 2000 to 2010 with multiple deployments to Iraq and Afghanistan. I completed my undergrad degree while I was on active duty by taking evening classes and online classes from Iraq. I completed my undergrad degree in U.S. government. I was fascinated in how the government works, how decisions are made. I finished my undergrad in U.S. government, and I got out of the military, moved to Washington, D.C. To try to get involved in public policy. I worked at the Federal Department of Veterans Affairs. I was the Director of Intergovernmental Affairs, so the liaison between the Department of Veterans Affairs, the Federal Department of Veterans Affairs, and states and cities and counties and the like. I served as the governor's military advisor here in the state of North Carolina. I helped launch a couple of nonprofit organizations, started teaching here about 5 years ago, and do some lobbying on the side as well. I have 3 master's degrees, one in lobbying, a master's degree in lobbying, one in campaign management, how to run political campaigns, and public administration. How the executive branch runs, the executive bureaucracy runs the government. So the George Washington, University of San Francisco, and Harvard University are where my degrees are from. I'm passionate about making the government work. I've worked in the federal and state government. I've worked in campaigns, worked on presidential campaigns, run for office myself, and am very interested in making the government work and teaching the future generation how your government should be working for you. And that's what we're going to be talking about in this class. Let's talk about what this course is going to entail. We're really going to be starting with the founding documents, what created our government, starting from the Declaration of Independence to the U.S. Constitution, and those first changes to the Constitution, the Bill of Rights. So we'll start talking about that foundation, and we'll talk about the 3 branches of government, so we have a good understanding of what we mean when we say the Congress or the presidency or the courts. And then we're going to dive a little bit further into the nitty gritty of campaigning and elections and polling and political parties and all of that exciting stuff. We're going to talk about how our country evolved from the original government that was formed in the U.S. Constitution to what the government entails today. It's changed and gone through cycles of change throughout that period. So we want to have a good understanding of how we got here and what our current government has the authority to do, and how they go about making decisions. And yeah, so let's talk about that textbook. We have a fairly new textbook that we're using. It's called We the People, and is a great digital text. You should automatically get access to it if you are participating in the Eagle Advantage program through the bookstore. If you don't, then you just need to talk to me, and you'll have to purchase a digital copy of the book to get access to it. But that's where a lot of our work is going to happen this semester. You'll be reading the text, and then we have weekly inquisitive quizzes that you'll do. So you'll spend a lot of time with this text, and it is a very good text for us to be using. All of those quizzes and our tests are all open book. I want you to learn this book and learn to navigate the book. So when you're taking quizzes and even tests, you can use the textbook. For the tests, you're going to be a little time limited, so you don't want to look up every question. But for the ones that you're stumped on, if you're good about navigating the book, you can find the answers. And I want to encourage you to do that. So let's talk about the routine that we should expect for this class. Every week we're going to have either one or two chapters. I think there's just 2 weeks that we're going to have 2 chapters. So most of the weeks you're going to have one chapter in the text to read. You're going to have a lecture from me. You're going to have around a 1 hour recorded lecture from me. You'll have those quizzes. You spend about 30 minutes doing those. About an hour doing those inquisitive quizzes. Then we have discussion boards. Every Wednesday, you will have your first post due. So you'll post a response to the discussion question for the week. So your post is due by Wednesday at midnight. And then for the rest of the week, you can respond to your classmates. You can go in and read what they posted and respond to them. I want this is your opportunity to learn from your classmates, interact and learn from your classmates, get some different perspectives about what we're reading or watching in the class. Like I said, you'll have an inquisitive quiz, an interactive quiz that's part of the textbook that will be due every Friday. And then every Sunday, you'll have your responses to your classmates in the discussion due, and then a homework assignment due every Sunday by midnight. So those are your 3 main deadlines. So let's talk about what your schedule is really going to be. Let me talk about how much time you should really be spending. You should really be spending about an hour reading the text, maybe 2 hours if we have 2 chapters, about an hour watching the lectures, the recorded lectures, about 30 minutes on the discussion boards, about an hour on your inquisitive quiz, about 30 minutes on the homework assignments, and then 30 minutes to an hour of reviewing, studying the material. You want to make sure to review material as you're learning it to help it settle in and help it get in firm into your memory. So our week's going to consist of, on Monday, you'll get an announcement, a video announcement, or both a text and video announcement, kind of saying this is what we're doing for the week, this is the topic for the week, and you'll go ahead and start reading that chapter on Monday, and then Wednesday you have your discussion board initial post due. Friday by midnight, your quiz is due, and then Sunday, your homework assignment and your responses to your classmates are due. So that's going to be our weekly rhythm for this course. Let's talk a little bit about late work. You have due dates for all the assignments. You're expected to complete the assignment by the due date. If you need an extension for any assignments, you need to let me know before the assignment is due. I do have a 24-hour grace period for all assignments. If you forget an assignment, you have a day. If you remember the next day, I will open it back up. If you reach out to me and say, oh, I would like to use my 24-hour grace period accommodation, I will give you an opportunity to finish, to make up that assignment 24 hours afterwards. After that 24-hour mark, you have a 0. If you have not completed the assignment and you have not contacted me, then you have a 0. So you need to make sure to stay on top of those weekly assignments, because you won't be able to make them up if you miss them. A little bit about AI use. As we all know, AI is ubiquitous. It's all over. I will not tell you not to use it by any means. There are many useful ways to use it, but using it to complete your assignments, using AI to write your assignments, write your discussion boards, give you the answers for your tests is not allowed. So if I discover that you used AI to complete a homework assignment or are using them on the tests, you will absolutely get a 0 for those assignments. It's good to use AI to help you get organized, to help you do research. We don't really have a research project in this class, but if you'd like to learn a little bit more about some particular topic, certainly use the AI to help you study, help come up with quizzes, questions, flashcards. Those are all great things to use AI for, but you can't use it to write. You can't try to pass off its work as your work. All right, so this first week, let's talk about what we're doing this first week. First thing you have to do is complete your course entry quiz. If you're watching this video, you've probably already completed your course entry quiz, but make sure that that is completed. You won't get access to the rest of the course until you've completed that course entry quiz. Next, you should read the syllabus completely. You're going to see once you open up Blackboard, there's going to be a Getting Started module. You're going to open up that module and work through each of those items. It's going to begin with a quick getting started, or this video. This video will be the first thing that you see, introductory video once I post this. And then the syllabus will be there. You want to read the syllabus in full. That's going to give you all the dates, all the due dates, the weight of the different grades in the course. So read that syllabus completely, and then hop into the discussion board. Our first discussion post that will be due on Sunday, because we're just starting class on Wednesday. So your initial post to the icebreaker discussion board, the very first discussion post, is due on Sunday. There's a prompt in there to tell us a little bit about where you were born, what city or county or country you were born in, where you went to high school, particularly if it was around this area, and then what's your favorite chicken sandwich? Most people like chicken sandwiches. If you're vegan, you can tell me what your favorite, or vegetarian, what's your favorite alternative kind of sandwich. But it sparks some conversation. Of course, we got lots of Chick-fil-A's and Bojangles and Dave's Hot Chicken and the like. But this is just to really spark some debate. And then lastly, tell us something interesting about yourself. You know, one thing that we might not know about you that is interesting. You'll see mine. I'll post mine in there, and we'll get to know each other a little bit through that. Next, there are 3 tutorials. In the Getting Started module folder, you'll see 3 assignments that are due on Sunday. So one is visualization, basically how you view data, charts and graphs and the like. Another one is how to use Inquisitive. This is this quiz system that we'll be using every week. So you're going to want to take that, do that tutorial so you know how to take those quizzes. And then another on using sources, how to identify good sources, how to identify bad sources, all things that we want to start the semester with. And then just go ahead and start reading that chapter 1, which is really talking about kind of American culture. What does it mean to be an American? What do we care about? And that'll be how we get started. Your Inquisitive quiz will be due next week, and we'll jump into talking about those founding documents in our lecture next week. So yeah, that's all I got. Look forward to having you guys in class. Look forward to seeing you online or in person. Again, I encourage you guys to come in and see me during office hours if you have questions or want to talk government and politics. And yeah, look forward to seeing you guys in the discussion board in class. Let's have a great semester, and we'll see you guys soon. Thanks.